Welcome back to another episode of the greatest heavyweight. I thought I'd switch it up. I was being boring before. I wanted that Hollywood-inspired Saturday Night Live with Fuad and Marshall presenting the greatest. Today's episode, boys and girls, it's a special one. It's a battle of the ages. You do not want to miss this. This fight, like many fights in this tournament, would be an eye-catching one. No further ado, please introduce the fighters. Marshall.
Alright, in the red corner we have Charles "Sonny" Liston with a record of 50-4 with 39 knockouts. No victories over Cleveland Williams and Floyd Patterson. And in the blue corner, Evander "The Real Deal" Holyfield with a record of 44-10-2 and 29 knockouts. He's a two-weight world champion. He moved up to heavyweight and became undisputed. Notable victories over everybody: Riddick Bowe, George Foreman, Larry Holmes. Do you want to keep going? Not everybody.
Yeah. So this fight it's an intriguing one, man. Let's put it like this though. Evander Holyfield had his issues at heavyweight. He was great. Don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted. He was great, but he had his issues. He wasn't the cleanest, dominant heavyweight champion, in my opinion. He beat Larry Holmes. Okay. Bit old. Riddick Bowe, he lost to Mike Tyson. Mentally just wasn't there. Was a the best Mike Tyson. In my opinion, not the most dominant heavyweight. It's funny I say this because I am a huge Evander Holyfield fan. His style was one of my favorite, but yeah, I still will go up on the point that he wasn't the most dominant heavyweight champion. Now let's talk about his style. JVD heavyweight, one of my favorite heavyweight styles because I like to see the big guys on their toes and throwing good combinations, very educated combinations.
Yeah.
But what he used to sort of suffer with sometimes is when he used to come into the inside after throwing a combination, his defense was there, but he was you could get caught by the bigger guy. Especially I was watching that Riddick Bowe fight back last night, and I think that one, obviously he lost that one, and it was such a war. But you see him getting caught with shots that, against maybe other type of fighters could be a completely different story. Now let's talk about the other type of fighter, Sonny Liston. You told me to watch that highlight reel again. I know how hard that guy hits and I know how much of a killer he was. But just to remind myself, I watched it again. The way the guys used to lean over the ropes after getting hit by Sonny Liston was scary. Scary. Mike Tyson took inspiration from the likes of Sonny Liston. That guy was just, so much happened in his life that he was numb. In the ring, he was numb to everything. Let's not talk about, the Ali fights and what happened there. It's a completely different topic, a lot of politics. But when he fought that, what he did to Floyd Patterson was just, he was ruthless. And size-wise, he was a big guy. He was 6'3", I think. He had. Was he 6'4"?
He's 6'1", 220.
6'1". I thought he was 6'3". What did I get him mixed up for? Okay, anyway, he was 6'1", but a bulky big 6'1" with a good reach. And them shots landing on Holyfield's head, would he survive? I don't think so.
Okay, so when you look at Evander Holyfield, he has, I would say, the biggest heart in heavyweight history. This guy will go toe-to-toe with anybody. Doesn't matter how much bigger they are, stronger, more reach. It doesn't matter. He went toe-to-toe with everyone. You look at his resume, it's ridiculous. If he didn't beat him, he fought him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sonny Liston, on the other hand, although he's only 6'1", he comes in about 220 in his prime. Evander, about the same. He's about 6'2", 6'2.5", about 220 in his prime as well. So their weight is similar. Holyfield's got a slight height advantage, but this is the statistic that really blows me away. Sonny Liston's got an 84-inch reach, and Evander's only got 78-inch reach, which is still a solid reach. 84 inches at 6'1" is unheard of. Absolutely unheard of. The only heavyweight today that has a higher reach than him would be Tyson Fury. Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua don't have the reach advantage that Sonny Liston had at 6'1". Absolutely mad. So when you look at the resume of Evander Holyfield and the guys who gave him problems, Riddick Bowe, like you said, Lennox Lewis, even an older George Foreman gave him problems. These guys had big reaches, were solid jabs, and he had a hard time getting on the inside doing his warrior work to the body and head. He couldn't throw the combinations as consistently as he could against guys around his size. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%. And I think that piggybacks off my comment saying that he used to, I was taking it from the Riddick Bowe fight especially, he used to get caught because he used to commit to those shots more than he would. His defense was good, his defense was solid, but against the bigger guys, because he'd have to go in and let them shots off and rip them shots, because they can absorb shots as well, right? And you see him against George Foreman is the one that sticks out, because he was like, yeah, biting down on his gum shield, going for it. George obviously a bit older, so probably didn't retaliate as he could have. But that's what I'm saying. Sonny Liston would take that opportunity, probably take a shot or two and counter, and he had that power to knock him out.
So unfortunately, they fought in different eras. We don't have a common opponent to kind of gauge it off of. The closest thing we have is, like you said, Evander fought George Foreman. Yes, it was later in his career, but that was still a very, very elite heavyweight at that advanced age. And earlier in Foreman's career, just after he won the Olympic gold medal, he was a sparring partner for Sonny Liston.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah.
So, Foreman said the only guy he couldn't back up with his jab was Sonny Liston. That's insane. When you look at the guys he fought, the only guy he couldn't get on the back foot was Sonny Liston. And that was when Sonny was, after he was champion. He was a little bit past it at that point. That's insane. That's showing what kind of monster this man is. And the problems that George gave Evander at that advanced age, I just think Sonny's jab would be too much. But that being said, Sonny will be doing damage early, might even drop Evander early. Evander's heart is too big. He does not get stopped. He gets back up, and he turns it into a war late in the fight. And because Sonny Liston's gas tank isn't where it should be, it's not as good as fighters of today. I don't know why. He just doesn't have the great engine. Usually around 6 or 7 rounds, he starts to slow down a little bit. I think Evander comes back, and we see a close fight to the end, but Sonny Liston edges a split decision just because he dropped them early and did more damage.
Yeah, I can agree with that decision. Let me just add one more last point in. You mentioned the jab there. There was something about Sonny Liston's jab that we couldn't understand. When watching it on tape, it's hard to gauge. He used to control the distance with it really good because of the range, but the commentators used to always big his jab up because they used to say it's like some sort of sniper. He used to whip people. So now that is the most basic punch, and anything else that followed after it was the killer punch. So I find it's a hard time for me to give Evander any sort of chance when I add that little bit of flavor into the whole argument, you know?
Can I add one thing as well?
Go for it.
So a lot of people question Liston's heart because of those 2 Ali fights. There was a lot of outside the ring things going on, politics, mob things that have nothing to do with the conversation of boxing. But if you know your boxing history, go back and check out his first fight with Cleveland Williams. Cleveland Williams was regarded as the biggest puncher in the sport before Sonny Liston, and he broke Liston's ribs in the first round with a body shot. Liston comes back to stop him in the 2nd or 3rd round. Tell me that's not hard.
Yeah.
He makes it late in this fight. He survives the late onslaught by Evander, and he wins a close decision.
For sure. Okay, so that wraps up episode 2. A great discussion between two amazing. There's not one fight. I don't hate fighters anyway, but I have massive admiration. I mean, we're not like you haters in the comment sections. We see you, but you know, sometimes you have a soft spot for a fighter. When it comes to heavyweights of all time, every heavyweight I seem to have a soft spot for, because they're just this different sport, man. So 2 absolutely great warriors, definitely left some sort of history or legacy or whatever you want to call it behind. They will be spoken about for years upon years. We still talk about Sonny Liston, and he still will be spoken about. Evander, I mean, he retired the other day, literally, 2011 to be exact. So he was about for a long time. I was strange when I found that out. But anyway, that wraps it up. Marshall, thank you very much. Go follow the Combat Hour. Go subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and make sure to catch the next fight as we break that one down too. Peace.
Hey fight fans, it's Michelle Joy Phelps. If you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you go ahead and do so by clicking this icon right here and hit the bell button so you can get notified every time we upload a new video. And we also have a free app available on iTunes and Google Play, so make sure you go and download that. Bye fight fans.